70,000 years ago, Homo sapiens was still an insignificant animal minding its own business in a corner of Africa. This simple yet profound statement opens a door to our deep history. It invites us to consider our humble beginnings. We were not always the dominant species on this planet. Our ancestors were just one of many kinds of humans. They faced daily struggles for survival. What set them apart? What sparked their incredible journey across the globe? These are the questions that begin our exploration. This journey of understanding is brilliantly charted in the book Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. The author, Yuval Noah Harari, acts as our guide. He takes us back through millennia of human existence. Harari does not just recount events, he seeks to explain the very forces that shaped us. He invites us to look at our history with fresh eyes. The book itself is a modern classic read by millions. It challenges many of our assumptions about ourselves and our past. It is a story for everyone. The overarching aim of Sapiens is truly ambitious. It seeks to trace the entire history of humankind, from our earliest origins as just another ape, to our current status as the planet's dominant force. The book covers vast stretches of time. It moves from the Stone Age to the modern digital age. It asks how we, Homo sapiens, managed this incredible ascent. How did we spread across every continent? How did we build civilizations and empires? It's a detective story on a grand scale. Harari's work encourages us to think differently about our species. It explores not just happened in our past, but why did we develop such complex societies? How did concepts like money, nations, and human rights come to be? The book delves into the fictions we created to cooperate. It examines the revolutions that transformed our way of life. It is a journey to understand the very essence of being human. It makes us question who we are and where we are going. Sapiens offers a grand narrative, weaving together insights from various fields. It combines biology, anthropology, paleontology, and economics. Harari uses these tools to paint a comprehensive picture of our past. He shows how biology laid the foundation for our abilities, and how history shaped our cultures and societies. The book connects these seemingly separate dots. It shows how our biological past influences our present, how ancient events still echo in our modern lives. It's a truly interdisciplinary adventure. This is not just a dry recounting of historical facts and dates. Instead, Sapiens focuses on the major turning points in human history. These are the pivotal moments that changed everything. Harari identifies key revolutions that propelled our species forward, or in some cases perhaps led us down unexpected paths. The cognitive revolution, the agricultural revolution, and the scientific revolution. Each one brought about profound changes in how humans lived, thought, and interacted with the world around them. Understanding these shifts is key to understanding ourselves today. The book meticulously traces our evolution, from insignificant apes, as Harari puts it, foraging in Africa, to the beings who now walk on the moon and contemplate artificial intelligence. It's a story of incredible transformation and adaptation. We learn about other human species who once shared the Earth with us. Why did sapiens survive while others, like the Neanderthals, vanished? This question is central to the early parts of our story. The perspective it offers is both humbling and awe-inspiring. It highlights our uniqueness and our responsibilities. Sapiens sets the stage for an epic journey through time. It promises to unveil the secrets of our success and also the potential pitfalls of our own making. We will explore how we developed language and imagination, how we learned to farm, build cities and create empires, how we came to believe in shared myths, gods and laws. This book challenges us to understand the narratives that bind us together. It prepares us to look at our present world with a deeper understanding of the long, winding road humanity has traveled. Around 70,000 years ago, a profound change occurred. It happened not in our bodies, but in our minds. This was the cognitive revolution. It transformed how Homo sapiens thought and communicated. This mental leap marked a new dawn for our species. Our ancestors embarked on an extraordinary journey. Language became our first true superpower. It allowed sapiens to share vast amounts of crucial information. This detailed communication improved their ability to plan, coordinate, and survive. The development of complex language unlocked something extraordinary within the sapiens' mind. This was the capacity for abstract thought. Humans could now speak about things not immediately present. They could discuss ideas, concepts, and entities with no physical form. Imagine them talking about spirits that guard the forest or dreams of a successful hunt. They could make plans for the distant future or recall lessons from the deep past. A whole new mental landscape, rich with imagination, opened up for our ancestors. Professor Yuval Noah Harari, in his book Sapiens, calls this crucial development the rise of fictive language. This refers to our unique ability to speak about fictions. More than that, it is the ability for large groups of people to collectively believe in these fictions. These could be stories about powerful tribal ancestors watching over them. They could be about guardian spirits inhabiting a particular mountain, or later about gods and goddesses. Even modern concepts like nations, corporations, or human rights are, in essence, shared fictions. No other animal we know of can create and believe such elaborate, imagined realities. These shared fictions, these commonly believed stories, held immense and unprecedented power. They allowed Homo sapiens to cooperate in ways never before seen in the natural world. Vast numbers of individuals, even complete strangers, could unite under a common myth or belief. They could work together towards a shared objective, such as building a sacred monument. Or they might band together to defend a large territory from rivals. These imagined realities created incredibly strong social bonds. They wove together large groups of people into cohesive communities capable of complex collective action. Consider other social animals like our primate cousins, the chimpanzees. Their cooperation is typically limited to small, intimate bands. Within these groups, individuals know each other personally. Their social order relies on direct relationships and hierarchies. Sapiens, however, could now bypass this limitation. Thanks to their ability to believe in the same stories, the same tribal totems or protective deities, they could cooperate flexibly. They could collaborate with countless other sapiens, most of whom they had never met. This capacity for large-scale cooperation, built on shared fictions, fundamentally changed the course of human social structures. The cognitive revolution provided Homo sapiens with a powerful new toolkit. They now possessed enhanced ways of thinking and problem-solving. They had complex language for detailed communication. Crucially, they gained the ability to cooperate flexibly in large numbers. Armed with these advantages, our ancestors were ready. They began to spread out from their African homeland. This expansion brought them into contact with other human species. Sapiens' superior communication allowed for better planning and coordination. They adapted to almost every environment. This expansion had profound consequences. Homo sapiens rapidly ascended to the top of the food chain. Their arrival often coincided with the extinction of large native animals. The cognitive revolution initiated their journey of reshaping the planet. For tens of thousands of years, Homo sapiens lived as nomads. Our ancestors were skilled hunter-gatherers. They moved with the seasons, following animal herds and ripening plants. Their lives were deeply intertwined with the rhythms of nature. But then, around 12,000 years ago, a monumental shift began. This was the agricultural revolution. This experiment would irrevocably change the human story. This shift from chasing food to growing food was truly revolutionary. It was a testament to our species' ability to adapt and control its destiny. The agricultural revolution enabled human populations to grow. More food supported more mouths, leading to denser settlements. However, this came at a steep price. Farming was hard work and reduced dietary variety. Malnutrition and diseases increased. Yuval Noah Harari suggests agriculture was a trap. It allowed population growth but complicated individual well-being. The agricultural revolution set humanity on a new, complex path. Building New World society transformed. The shift to settled agricultural life brought about fundamental changes in human social structures. For hunter-gatherers, the concept of owning land was largely alien. Resources were generally shared within the band. With farming, however, land became a vital asset. Families and communities invested immense effort into specific plots. This led to the emergence of concepts like private property and inheritance. Disputes over land ownership and boundaries became a new source of conflict. Suddenly there was something tangible and valuable to defend, leading to increased territoriality and the beginnings of warfare between farming communities. The ability to produce and, crucially, store surplus food also had profound social consequences. Not everyone needed to be directly involved in food production anymore. This surplus allowed for the rise of specialists within society. Some individuals could dedicate their time to other crafts like pottery. Others could dedicate their time to tool-making. Others could dedicate their time to weaving. Others could become priests, warriors, or leaders. This division of labor led to the development of social hierarchies. Those who controlled the food surplus or who offered perceived essential services like spiritual guidance or protection often gained power and influence over the farmers who toiled in the fields. The small, settled villages gradually grew into larger towns and eventually into the first cities. The ability to support dense populations and a specialized workforce paved the way for more elaborate political structures. It allowed for the creation of kingdoms, states, and empires. Shared myths and religions, which had already begun in the cognitive revolution, became even more crucial. Weaving the human web, the age of imagined orders. Following the agricultural revolution, human societies grew larger. Villages turned into towns and towns into cities. This expansion presented a challenge. How could strangers live and work together? Old ways of organizing small bands wouldn't suffice. A new social glue was needed. This was a critical juncture. The answer lay in our cognitive abilities. Humans created complex, imagined orders. These were not physical realities. They were shared fictions. Think about gods, spirits, and laws. Later, kingship, nations, and money. These constructs provided a common framework. Shared beliefs were potent. They allowed cooperation among strangers. Imagine building a massive temple, or soldiers fighting under a king's banner. These actions needed a common story. Shared fictions gave people unity. Universal beliefs, money, empires, and early religions. As human societies grew and interacted more, local myths started to give way to more universal systems of belief. These new systems had the power to unite even larger and more diverse populations. They transcended the boundaries of individual cities or small kingdoms. This was a crucial step towards the unification of humankind. People from different regions with different local customs could now find common ground. They could share certain overarching ideas about the world, which facilitated broader cooperation and understanding. This marked the beginning of larger cultural spheres. One of the earliest and most successful universal imagined orders was money. Before money, trade was often based on barter. This was cumbersome and limited. Money, in the form of shells, barley, or later coins, was revolutionary. It had no inherent value, but everyone agreed to believe in its value. This shared belief allowed people from vastly different cultures, who might worship different gods or obey different kings, to trade easily. Money became a universal language of trust and exchange. It connected people across geographical and cultural divides, fostering economic interdependence. Alongside money, universal religions began to emerge and spread. Early religions were often polytheistic, featuring a pantheon of gods, each overseeing different aspects of life or nature. These systems could absorb new gods and local deities as cultures met and mingled. Later, a more radical idea appeared: monotheism. In recent centuries, powerful shared narratives emerged, often called secular religions or ideologies. Think of liberalism, communism, nationalism, and capitalism. These ideologies provide worldviews, moral compasses, and a sense of purpose. They inspire passion and loyalty, driving significant historical changes. Harari argues that this ability to create and believe in shared stories makes sapiens unique. These myths enable cooperation on a scale unmatched by any other species. For many millennia, human knowledge systems were often complete. They were based on ancient traditions, sacred texts, or the pronouncements of wise elders. These systems provided answers to most of life's big questions. There was little room for doubt or for admitting that something was simply not known. But around 500 years ago, a new way of thinking began to take hold. This was the dawn of the scientific revolution. It was not just about new discoveries, it was a revolution in how humans approached knowledge itself, starting with a radical admission. The most crucial element of this new scientific approach was the willingness to admit ignorance. Scientists embraced the idea that humanity did not know everything. They acknowledged that previous beliefs, even those held for centuries, could be wrong. This was a profound departure from older traditions, which often claimed to possess all important truths. This discovery of ignorance, as Harari calls it, was the true starting point. It opened the door to genuine inquiry, to questioning everything, and to seeking new evidence. It was a humble yet incredibly powerful new stance towards understanding our world. This new approach emphasized direct observation and experimentation. Instead of relying solely on ancient texts, scientists began to look at the world with their own eyes. They started to measure things, to conduct experiments, and to meticulously record their findings. Mathematics became an increasingly important tool. It provided a clear and precise language to describe natural phenomena. The scientific revolution did not happen in a vacuum. It quickly became intertwined with other major historical forces, particularly European imperialism and economic expansion. As European powers began to explore and conquer distant lands, they found practical uses for scientific knowledge. Accurate maps were essential for navigation. Understanding botany helped in exploiting new plants for food or medicine. Better weaponry, developed through scientific principles, gave them a military advantage. Science became a powerful tool in the hands of those seeking wealth and dominion across the globe. This connection between science and empire led to a surge in funding for research. Kings, queens, and trading companies began to invest heavily in scientific expeditions and institutions. They hoped for discoveries that would bring them economic benefits or strategic advantages. Captain James Cook's voyages, for example, were not just for exploration. They also had scientific aims, collecting vast amounts of data on geography, flora, fauna, and different cultures. This patronage helped to accelerate the pace of scientific discovery. It also ensured that scientific knowledge was often applied to practical problems, driving further innovation. The application of scientific knowledge led to the development of countless new technologies. These innovations began to transform daily life, albeit slowly at first. Improvements in agriculture, based on a better understanding of soil and crops, increased food production. New medical insights, though still rudimentary, began to improve public health. The systematic collection and analysis of data allowed for better organization of societies and economies. A powerful feedback loop was created. Scientific breakthroughs led to new technologies, which in turn enabled further scientific investigation and generated more practical applications. The Industrial Revolution began in Great Britain in the late 18th century. It was a period of unprecedented technological advancement. Driven by scientific principles, it transformed production and manufacturing. Steam power, especially James Watt's engine, revolutionized factories and transportation. This shift changed how humans worked, leading to mass production and urbanization. However, it also brought harsh working conditions and social challenges. The Industrial Revolution unleashed a wave of innovation that continues today. Why does this journey through 70,000 years of human history truly matter to us today? Yuval Noah Harari's Sapiens isn't merely a collection of historical facts, it's a powerful mirror reflecting our current realities. Understanding our species' long and winding path helps us decode the complex world we inhabit. It allows us to see the deep roots of our modern behaviors, our societies, and the global challenges we face. The echoes of our ancestors' triumphs and follies resonate clearly in our contemporary lives. Professor Harari's insights often revolve around imagined orders. These shared fictions are the invisible architecture supporting our civilization. Nations, laws, money, and corporations don't exist naturally but hold power because we believe in them. Our daily lives are governed by these shared fictions. Concepts like human rights and democracy are powerful shared beliefs. Understanding this empowers us to critically examine and improve these constructs. The relentless march of the scientific and industrial revolutions has not slowed down. It has accelerated dramatically within our lifetimes. We stand at a unique juncture, witnessing advancements once confined to science fiction. Artificial intelligence is rapidly evolving, biotechnology reshapes life itself, and information technology connects us in unimaginable ways. Sapiens provides a vital framework for comprehending these changes. The core principle of the scientific revolution remains relevant today. In an era often described as the post-truth age, critical thinking is paramount. We must embrace this spirit when facing global challenges. Harari's work compels us to contemplate the future of Homo sapiens. It is a powerful call to understand ourselves more deeply. Our journey through human history, as charted by Yuval Noah Harari in Sapiens, has been remarkable. From insignificant apes to the dominant species, we've explored the cognitive and agricultural revolutions. Shared fictions, from ancient gods to modern corporations, unite us. The scientific and industrial revolutions reshaped our world. Harari's narrative invites us into a dialogue with our past, offering invaluable perspective on our present and future. The historical tapestry woven by Sapiens illuminates our past and casts light on the path ahead. Insights from our ancestors' journey, their innovation, shared myths, and impact on the planet are essential tools for navigating the present and shaping the future. As technology grows, wisdom from history guides our actions and shapes our destiny. Harari's work raises profound questions about our future with biotechnology, AI, and genetic engineering. The responsibility on our shoulders is immense. We hold the power to shape the future of life on Earth. The story of Sapiens is far from over. We are active authors of its next chapter.